A generation was defined by its adolescent aspirations, music, and fame. However, life after Rydell High wasn't quite as ideal for many of the famous Greek cast members. Tragic illnesses claimed the lives of some celebrities. Addiction seized others, and some found themselves facing prison walls rather than sold-out arenas. Even dodgy deals and hidden affairs that never made the newspapers are the subject of rumors. Who has passed away? Who is incarcerated? The following cast members of Grease are either deceased or incarcerated. John Olivia Newton. Let's begin with Grease's endearing heroine, Olivia Newton-John, better known by her stage name Sandy Olsen. She transformed from a charming small-town girl to a seductive singer, securing her place alongside John Travolta as a pop culture icon. She sang hits including Hopelessly Devoted to You, Summer Nights, and You're the One That I Want. In order to get top billing in the movie and avoid an American accent, she negotiated the character's nationality when she took on the job at the age of 28. She had emotional upheaval and scandals following the program, particularly in 1979 when she filed a lawsuit against MCA Records for royalties breach. It resulted in a sizable settlement that affected industry artist contracts. She also dated cameraman Patrick McDermott for a long time, but their relationship ended mysteriously when he disappeared while fishing in 2005. Olivia had to deal with the agonizing allegations that he was living in Mexico and had staged his death. Even though she was famous, things took a turn for the worse. She received chemotherapy and surgery after being diagnosed with breast cancer in 1992. In 2013, the illness returned, and in 2017, it spread to her spine. She donated a significant amount of her income to Cancer Research & Co., founded the Olivia Newton-John Cancer and Wellness Center in Melbourne, in an effort to encourage others. She fought breast cancer for 3 decades, before dying at the age of 73 in 2022. Her timeless song and film performances continued to carry on her legacy. But she is not the only member of the Grease cast to have died of cancer. Charles Annette, Charlene Cha-Cha Dye, Gregorio, the self-proclaimed finest dancer at Street Bernadette's, was portrayed by Annette Charles. She gained notoriety for performing the hand jive with John Travolta's character Danny on the televised Rydell High dance competition. She had a successful career even before Grease, making appearances in a number of television series, including Magnum P.I., Bonanza, The Incredible Hulk, and The Bionic Woman. She continued her education after Grease, graduating from New York University with a master's degree in social work and going on to become a professor. However, did you know that she was in excruciating pain from a tubular pregnancy during the Thunder Road scene in Grease? When the fertilized egg starts growing in the fallopian tube rather than the uterus, this occurs. She was constantly leaning against the automobiles because of this. She was taken to the hospital for surgery as soon as she was done filming the scene. She was admitted to the hospital with pneumonia around the middle of 2011. Later, her mother disclosed that, despite not smoking, physicians had found a malignant tumor in her lung. Due to complications from lung cancer, she died in August 2011 at home in Los Angeles. Eddie Deezen. Let's now examine a well-liked member of the Grease cast who is incarcerated. In Grease and Grease 2, Eddie Deezen portrayed Eugene Felsnick, the bespectacled nerd at Rydell High. He gained notoriety for consistently portraying the geek in movies such as Midnight Madness, 1941, I Wanna Hold Your Hand, Million Dollar Mystery, and War Games. However, he started dealing with a variety of legal problems after a few years, which totally destroyed his career. He was detained for refusing to leave a restaurant in November 2021. He was accused of attacking police officers by hurling objects at them. He was charged with trespassing, disorderly conduct, and second-degree assault. After entering a private nursing home without permission despite warnings, he was arrested in Maryland in April 2022 on charges of fourth-degree burglary, 2 counts of trespassing, and disturbing the peace. He had already been accused of breaking into neighbors' cars on other occasions before to these events, which resulted in more trespassing accusations. A Maryland judge declared him unable to stand trial due to an unspecified mental health condition a few months after the 2022 case. Until it was determined that he was no longer a threat, he was required to undergo mental health treatment at a state facility. He has apparently battled mental illness for a long time. Even though he was well known for his comedy acting and voice acting in Kim Possible and Dexter's Laboratory, his arrests were a tragic development. In contrast to Arden, our next Grease cast member, who led a balanced life until her untimely death, his life was filled with ups and downs. Arden was well known for being a fairly gifted actor who could improvise with ease when performing. Her portrayal of Principal McGee, the acerbic, no-nonsense school administrator at Rydell High, in Grease, and Grease 2 stunned many. Known for her sharp one-liners and caustic humor, she added a dash of traditional refinement to the part. Her career, which spanned around 60 years across radio, theater, film, and television, was outstanding even without Grease. Her performance as Connie Brooks in Our Miss Brooks is what made her most famous. Eve also starred in Anatomy of a Murder and was nominated for an Academy Award in 1945. Eve was notorious for having tumultuous marriages. After 11 months, her second one ended in divorce. But after it was revealed that she had an affair with a married Hearst executive, a startling scandal rocked her marriage. In addition, she was embroiled in another controversy during the 1952 presidential race, when she made a homophobic and offensive remark about Adlai Stevenson. When her health deteriorated, fans were saddened. She passed away from arteriosclerotic heart disease, heart failure, and cancer-related complications. It's interesting that she never revealed her age. Therefore, the people didn't know she died at the age of 82 until they saw the dates on the gravestone. However, our next Greek celebrity was adored by many and died at the age of 46. Stewart Dennis. Dennis Stewart portrayed Danny's adversary in Grease, as well as the strong Scorpions gang leader Leo Crataface Balmuto. Prior to joining the Soon Peppers Lonely Hearts Club Band, he was a dancer. Dennis also starred in Wonder Woman, MacGyver, The A-Team, and Moonlighting. Despite his early success with Grease, he had trouble getting typecast and eventually saw a reduction in his filming possibilities. Although he often kept a low profile, he was well known in New York circles for being openly gay. Regretfully, his health rapidly deteriorated after receiving an HIV diagnosis in 1993. In 1994, at the age of 46, he passed away from pneumonia brought on by AIDS. Some claim he was buried with his mother, while others claim he was cremated and strewn at sea. His performance of Craterface, despite his tragically brief life, is still one of the most iconic villains in the history of musical films. In addition, he was among the famous people who were affected by the AIDS pandemic in the early 1990s. As you may have noticed from this video, Dennis Stewart was the first Grease star to die, but he won't be the last. However, he was not as well known as our next Grease star, who was frequently juggling legal matters. Travolta, John. One of the most successful Greek cast members is John Travolta. He portrayed the dynamic T-Birds leader, Danny Zuko. After his success on Welcome Back, Kotter, Saturday Night Fever, and Carrie, that role cemented his place as one of the era's leading men. Having won 3 Golden Globes and a Primetime Emmy, he is well known for being an accomplished actor. In addition, he received nominations for 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, 2 Academy Awards, and a British Academy Film Award. Even with all of his notoriety, he has been involved in a number of controversies and legal troubles. These cases affected his career even if none resulted in convictions. 2 unnamed masseurs sued him in 2012 each, requesting $2 million, alleging sexual harassment and violence. Atlanta was mentioned by one, while Beverly Hills was mentioned by the other, when evidence, such as flight records, revealed that John was not present at the scene of the incidents. Both cases were abandoned or dismissed. Additionally, he was the target of defamation cases brought by Robert Randolph, but a judge dismissed them all. Many said that John Travolta's late wife, Kelly Preston, was outraged by the tabloid stories of his old cross-dressing images at this time, but he denied any marital scandal. In addition to these scandals, his career has suffered greatly as a result of a string of box office failures, many of which critics have deemed to be badly produced. In contrast, John Travolta's primary concern was legal matters. Our next cast member from Grease suffered from several addictions that ultimately led to his demise. Conaway, Jeff. Another significant cast member on Grease was Jeff Conaway, who portrayed Danny Zuko's rebellious best friend, Kenicky, who wore a leather jacket. He continued to win jobs after Grease, including those of Zach Allen on Babylon 5 and Bobby Wheeler in the sitcom Taxi. Despite his professional success, he had a number of difficulties, including an addiction to prescription medications, cocaine, and alcohol. This occurred following a serious back injury he received during filming the Grease lightning scene. He openly documented his ongoing battle with substance usage in 2008 when he appeared on Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, and discomfort throughout the body. Due to his frequent absences and unpredictable behavior brought on by his addiction, he was kicked out of the program while on Taxi. Even his ex-partner sought a restraining order against him, claiming violence and theft, most likely due to his addiction. Later, these were rejected. Then, in May 2011, Jeff was sent to the hospital after being discovered unconscious at home, put into a coma by induction. 2 weeks after his family asked that his life support be taken off, he passed away. The autopsy revealed that the coma was caused by a number of medical conditions, including encephalopathy from years of addiction and recurrent drug overdoses, aspiration pneumonia, sepsis, endocarditis, and coronary artery disease. The next Grease star's cause of death is still up for question, unlike Jeff's. Baker, Lenny. As a member of the musical group Rydell High Dance's Johnny Casino and the Gamblers, Lenny Baker also made an appearance in the Grease Assemble. He received credit for his performance in Sha Na Na. He was a talented actor with a long list of successful roles, being nominated for a Golden Globe and winning a Tony Award for I Love My Wife in 1977 for his lead in Greenwich Village, his next stop. It's interesting to note that Lenny's house was broken into on the first night of I Love My Wife. and his bar mitzvah ring and television were taken. In 1979, he finally gave from acting. His thyroid cancer diagnosis, which necessitated surgery, was one of the causes. His voice cords were damaged during the surgery, ultimately bringing his acting career to an end. However, there were several allegations at the time, and even decades later, that he passed away from HIV/AIDS. After fighting cancer, he passed away in Hallandale Beach, Florida, in April 1982 at the age of 37. Lenny is eerily one of the many cast members who had fought cancer, and it appears that she was the one who died at the shortest age. However, not all of them, like our next Grease favorite, had to cope with cancer. Burns, Ed. Vince Fontaine, the sleek and affable host of the televised dance competition at Rydell High in Greece, was played by Ed Burns. His big break, however, came in the 1960s when he portrayed Cookie, the hair-obsessed cabbie turned teen investigator on 77 Sunset Strip, so he didn't need Grease for it.